Alright you guys, welcome underwater and welcome to the voiceovers. I'm going to be walking you through these dives, giving you tips and tricks and hoping you learn from my mistakes. And go ahead and hold your breath with me on this first drop. We start the day, we've done a couple of drops, but we're diving really deep on this whole trip. Every dive is around between 80 and 90 feet. And they're really long dives. You can't make out fish from the surface, so you have to at least go halfway down, preferably get all the way to the bottom and hope that fish come in off the structure. And we're just working this huge rocky reef line, hoping for gag grouper and mutton snapper and mangrove snapper. It is the opening of grouper season, so this video was taken quite a while ago, and it was a couple of dives, a couple of trips put together, but it wasn't enough to make one full episode. But this was, we dove probably I made like 4 or 5 drops before this, didn't really see much, went to the sand, and a mutton finally came in. I was a little hesitant on shooting him. He was a little smaller, but he gave me an easy shot, so I made the shot. And that usually happens if you're down there grunting. Fish kind of get a little curious. They see, they want to see if there's a food opportunity. And if you're down there scratching around, grunting, or just dropping and hitting the sand, fish can see quite a long ways underwater, and that's what this guy does. I was a little unsure on the size though. Ended up getting him on the boat. He was about an inch over legal size. Muttons have to be 18 inches, and this guy was about like just over 18 and a half inches. And that's kind of one of the risk you take when you're, getting them with spear rather than hook and line.
He's borderline. You think?
And this guy really was borderline, but he just made the cut.
What do you think? Close. I know. It was hard to see down there. I know. I think he's good. What do you think? Dude, he's right on the edge.
All right, this dive is freaking awesome, and this whole scenario really made the trip unique. This is my GoPro. I'm about to make a drop on this reef ledge, and right now I'm switching to our buddy Paul's viewpoint, and he has his GoPro mounted underneath his gun. So he's making a drop. You can see a little bit of his spear at the top of the screen, and you can see it's the same kind of reef edge, reef structure, and he hits the top of it. He's looking off the drop off, but a huge mutton ends up coming in off the top of the reef from the right. So he's just slowly descending. Again, this is mounted on his gun, so it's going to be like almost a first-person gun shot. But right now, he spots the mutton, so he swings his gun over. You see it right there in the screen. It's a really cool angle. Let me know in the comments what you think of this kind of viewpoint. But he closes the gap on this mutton. It is a very good-sized fish. Shoots it a little high in the tail, and the thing just tears out. But what makes this clip so unique is, hold your breath, you're going to do a dive with me. Now we're going to switch back to my GoPro, and I go ahead and make this drop. And this whole situation with Paul happened, I think, like seconds before I make this drop. And it's just by coincidence, I head down and I run into the same exact mutton. So I'm going to let this clip roll out. You'll see what happens, and then I talk about it once I get to the surface. And it's really crazy and has never really happened to me before when diving, so go ahead and check this out. So talk about a freaking lucky fish. I hit him in like roughly the same spot that Paul did, and the same exact outcome happened. I shot him. It may have held, but my spear got lodged on the reef, and I gave him slack, but it got lodged on the reef and yanked out.
That's crazy. It looked like, I think they shot at a mutton, big mutton. It was hauling ass down the reef, and I was just like, I shot him on the fly, super far shot. I hit him right in the tail, and he was going nuts, and my spear got lodged. It was a big one. Hey, it had a scratch mark on its head, and he was hauling ass.
Now, I was really bummed about that mutton, and we kind of figured out exactly what happened once we got on the boat, and Paul and I were just laughing about it. It was pretty wild. But we're going to switch to Ryan's GoPro, and Ryan does some awesome drops on this trip. And this first one, he goes down to the sand, hunts perfectly, and his tactic of spearfishing isn't like dive bombing fish, because he has a very good amount of bottom time. And if you watch his GoPro, the way he dives is it's so smooth and so slow, and it's almost like he's in outer space moving ever so slowly. And the reason he does that is because he burns less oxygen when he's holding his breath. Again, we're doing super deep drops, any like mid 80s, mid to, you know, shallow 80s, and he hits the reef and he's just sitting there at the bottom. I don't know when he spots this fish, but he's just slowly moving his head left and right. I'm sure he's scratching. I'm sure he's doing a little bit of grunting here and there. And I don't even know when he spots the fish. It might be... he still hasn't spotted a fish. So right now, he just actually spotted a gag off in the distance. And so he turned, grabbed his gun, starts kind of inching his way towards the direction of the gag, and the gag just kind of comes slowly towards him but doesn't come right to him. So the gag grouper starts kind of veering away, and he just starts edging himself along the reef just to where he can close the gap. Fish is almost on its way out, lands a really good shot. He's not quite sure on the shot, so he kind of dumps his reel a little bit. Luckily, there's no huge caves in the area. There might be a little edge for him to kind of nudge in, but it would be easy to get him out if, you know, God forbid he gets lodged in a cave. But little edges, comes up. I realize the shot is a little low, so I go ahead and prep for a backup dive and just want to make sure we secure the fish, especially whenever I get on the fish. You'll see my GoPro right here. You'll see his shot, and I could just tell from his body language he was kind of babying it. Don't want to take chances of sharks. So, and again, this shot could easily pull out of the fish. So I want to go ahead and get a nice, good headshot. And once those two spears are in the fish, it's almost guaranteed you're going to get the fish up, unless the shark comes and rips it off. But it's very unlikely, especially with me down there with the fish. And you see I got a little muzzle wrap. I think it was because I was so close to the fish. It wrapped my muzzle just a little bit. My spear couldn't leave the gun. But we ended up getting the fish. Pretty stoked about it. And again, just because my muzzle was wrapped, I just said, screw it. I'm just going to head to the surface and rip this fish up. We got two spears. No way he's going to pull out.
Thanks, bro.
If you all know me, you know that I like showing my successes as well as my failures. So this was one of the failures I had on this trip. Luckily, it wasn't on a incredibly huge fish, but it's something I can definitely learn from, and I like showing these to you guys, because what's more important than you seeing how to do things is to see how not to do things. And I feel like the failures are more of they leave more of an impression on you than your successes. So this was another drop, same deal as the mutton I shot, going down to the top of the reef. Haven't seen a whole lot, so we're making sure we at least get enough for a solid dinner, and at least for everybody to split on the boat. Go down, I do a little grunting. I'm scratching the reef a little bit with my left hand, hoping it would bring something in. I'm hoping for a mutton, but unfortunately, the only thing that came in was a mangrove snapper, and mangrove snapper are kind of tough to shoot. They're a smaller target, they're a little squirrely, and this guy just flipped right as I shot, and I clipped him, and he ended up tearing out. It was a little bit of a meat shot. The fish will probably be okay, but it's one of those things where, you know, as the trip goes on, if I miss a fish, it makes me think to myself, dang it, okay, all right, I need to make sure I take really good shots. Only it's never a good feeling when you tear out of a fish like that. So I want to make sure I take my time, make a good shot on the next fish.
Like a bang. I just barely missed.
Now the good thing about buddy diving is the fact that I came up to the surface, told Ryan what I saw, what I shot at, so now when he makes a drop, he kind of has an idea of what to expect. I obviously shot and missed a mangrove, so when he's making this drop, mangroves are definitely on his agenda. And this is his GoPro, and what the gun that he's using is actually the Rob Allen traditional. So I'm using the Rob Allen roller, and he's using the traditional bands. And it's a personal preference and whatever you're used to. Me personally, I've used the Rob Allen roller, and I've really gotten used to that. And the main thing is, I know the trigger mechs are really good. I know the whole layout, everything that Rob Allen makes, it has been put through the ringer. It's been tested, and in my opinion, is one of the top guns out there. So whether you're shooting a roller or a traditional band, I highly recommend them. And this is Ryan's gun that he grew up shooting. So he was an absolute crack shot with it on this trip, and also the couple trips that I've been out with him. So he lined up on a nice mangrove. That bottom time really helps him out. You see, he didn't really have a shot on one of those fish until probably like the over 1 minute mark. And once he's down there over a minute, that's when the fish get really comfortable. They start coming into him, and that's when he takes the shot. And he knows his limits, doesn't really go too crazy, especially on this trip. 1 minute 30, 2 minute dives, that's pretty easy for him. Here we go again, switching back to Ryan's GoPro. This was actually on a trip that was a little later in the week. And again, gag grouper is open, but it is only 2 per boat, 1 per person. So Ryan got limited out on both occasions of this trip. And he was absolutely killing it. But we were buddy diving together again, and you can just see his tactic and how slow he moves, how methodical everything is. And I usually, whenever I'm diving like this, I get caught up in trying to do things quicker, and in the long run, you actually shorten your dive time. So it might seem like an oxymoron to go slower, but realistically, you extend your bottom time so much more if you're just very slow, not exerting a ton of energy. And that's what he does on this drop. But he actually sees where all those fish are congregated near that edge, and he's in his mind, he's like, wow, there's got to be a grouper or something hanging around in this rock. So he's looking down current, and then he switches his gears up current, and that's when he spots that gag grouper, takes off, almost gets out of view, and he shot it. It kind of hung out right along this edge, and he was trying to keep it out of the rocks, and he kept it out as much as he could until it was free from the edge, and then he decided to start dumping a little bit of his line. And on this drop, you'll see I do the whole backup deal, but the only difference is I don't put a backup shot because I go down, I see his shot is secure, and all I need to do is just grab the line and help hoist it up. And then also while I'm down there, I'm going to be on shark duty. If a shark shows up, that's when I just start, charging the shark with my spear.
Bro, the gags like you, man. What the hell? I was like, been drifting, bro, and I'm like...
Here we move to a shallower area, and it's just a bunch of rubble. And the tough part about diving this stuff is the current is moving really fast. But when there's a lot of current, there's usually a good amount of fish on the structure. Luckily, Ryan makes it down to the bottom and where the current is a little minimized. So as he gets to the sand, now all that rubble is kind of blocking the current. So once he's in the stand, now he can inch his way up current towards the structure. Now the goal is to make sure you're not dropping too late to where you can't make it up that way. But he saw a mutton go into one of these tunnels. He figured no shot it would still be in there, but sure enough, the fish was just hanging out in this structure thinking it was hidden, and he put an absolute like killer shot in this fish. And this was about the size of the fish that Paul and I missed out on earlier on the trip. Put an absolute killer shot on this fish. Lights out. Like, this was a perfect dive and the perfect scenario you want to have happen when you make a drop. Here's the last drop of the day. We're absolutely gassed, and probably all day I made probably about 15 deep dives each day that we went out. And again, it was this really deep diving, so every drop was over 1:30, and every drop was over 80 feet. So that really wears on you, and you're limited to your dives. But the advantage is you have a higher chance of seeing fish in some of those deeper spots, because not a lot of people can dive in those kind of areas. But you'll see Ryan here like doing what he does, and as he's descending, he's slowly spinning around to see if there's a fish coming in on him. So whenever he does see a fish on his descent, he knows, okay, this fish is coming in from this direction. So whenever he lays down in the sand, he's facing the correct direction. So if the fish comes in on him once he hits bottom, he's facing him and can just extend his gun and shoot. He didn't see any fish on the drop, but as he got down to the bottom, nice mutton off in the distance, comes in, and he doesn't really track it super hard, but he tracks it just enough to where he's not whipping his gun around. Landed a perfect shot, spined him. And again, even if you spine a fish like this, I always suggest bringing them, because sometimes they get spined and the spear moves a little bit and then they can come back to life. So get your hands on the fish. Even if you spine the fish, get your hands in the gills and then go ahead, brain the fish. But yeah, what an epic fish to finish the day. And Ryan absolutely killed it. The whole crew killed it. And now I have an exciting catch and cook for you guys, so stay tuned.
Nice, dude. Yeah. On my last dive, as I was down there, like some small muttons were coming in. I was like, this is very mutton-esque. Bro, it's mutton-esque, bro. Do another one.
Alright, you guys, welcome back to my parents' house. This is where I'm bringing the fish to. My dad's already got it fired up. We're actually trying some smoked sausage that he shot some hogs. But what are we doing? You got a stick of butter, garlic.
Chopped garlic and squeezed key lime in it.
Yeah, my dad squeezed some key lime in it. He wasn't waiting on me. He's like, yeah, screw your camera. I'm going to go ahead and start cooking without you. Here's the fillets. I went ahead and dried them all nicely. There's one. And then there is the second. And it is going to be mutton. And we're going to keep it really simple. We're just going to season it, and then we're going to saute it. And we're going to take you guys along and show you the process. So he's getting this nice and cooked, low heat. Is that low, medium, low?
Yeah, just getting it rendered down with butter and garlic.
All right, and then now we're going to
sprinkle a little
season.
Bit blackened seasoning.
Yeah, blackened seasoning, which normally you blacken fish, but we're gonna just saute it and slash blacken. Harry, I'll let you do it, since I can finally be the cameraman.
All right, then we just do a little sprinkle seasoning on it on each side.
Nice, a healthy amount.
Yeah, we're going to throw that in there. One on this side.
That other fillet is a little bit bigger. Obviously, I didn't shoot that one.
Yeah, the big one.
The big one is, that's how you know it's not mine, because I didn't shoot it.
Yeah, we're doing this because your mom doesn't like it too spicy, so we just do a little light seasoning and saute it instead of doing that crusty blackened seasoning, which is real good too.
Oh, I should have thrown it the other way, so it could have been like, it could have like fit like crease and crease. Didn't you go to kindergarten?
It's his first time.
Didn't you go to, oh, there's Sister Paige. Didn't you go to kindergarten and do shapes?
Did it fit in there
Oh.
all right?
Yeah, no, it's
Oh,
perfect.
okay.
Guys, check this out. This is what my dad has been doing all day. Look at all this meat.
And there's another smoker full.
And there's another smoker full. This is what we do. We do this kind of stuff. And look at those nanners.
Farm to table.
Fresh off the tree. This is what we do.
Farm to table. Or woods to table.
Yeah, woods to table, ocean to table, farm to table. Yeah, we do it all. Minus that butter. That butter is...
There's a sample.
Oh yeah, there's the sample. Let's check it out. My dad was whacking some hogs a little while ago. Oh, here, you want to cut it?
Yeah. Got your little piece here. We got summer sausage and then smoked links. These are some of the smoked links. You already tried the summer sausage. How was it?
That was freaking delicious. Look at the cheese like just exploding out. Alright. You just heated it up. That's it. Because it's pretty much already cooked. Because it's through the smoker. This is what I bring hunting with me all the time. Similar stuff like this, like homemade sausage.
It's so the animals know, do not mess with him.
Yeah.
They can smell their own kind.
Dude, that's freaking good, man.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
Turned out really good.
Yeah.
That was kind of a group effort.
Yeah.
Not trash.
Yeah, you're welcome for the help.
Yeah, you didn't do anything. You came here to eat it.
And take
No,
some home.
you brought your food here so that
Yeah,
Dad
I brought
could cook
fish.
it.
Yeah,
you
I
brought
brought
So Dad
fish.
could cook it
So I
for
can
you.
cook it for you too?
I brought fish though for us. That was the hardest part.
Yeah.
You never get muttons. You never get muttons. He never gets muttons. At least, you know. I get way more than him. Paige, what do you think? Who do you think gets more muttons, me or Dad?
Lifetime? Probably Dad.
You think?
Yeah, in his lifetime?
I don't know. I get a lot. Yeah, maybe hook and line. Yeah.
Not even that. What
Dad,
about
who
when
do you
he
think?
Was,
Who
when
do
he
you?
was a young Spearo
Who do you
too.
think? Who do you think is harvested more muttons, me or you?
Definitely me.
It's a fair question.
I did it.
That's why you're John Keith Mitchell the second.
That's why I'm the
You'll
second.
never be as good as
I'll
Dad.
never be in first place.
It's good. You just haven't been doing it as long as I did.
That's
so.
what I said.
Wait till I
He's
get-
the
wait till I
youngest
get
Spearo.
some-
A lot more years.
Wait till I get some years under my belt.
And of course, I did it bubbling, not
Oh yeah, he was a
Dude,
bubble
cheater.
blower. And plus, it was way easier back then. There was way more fish around.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So this stuff is just cooking up in here, and then we just flip it and then take it off.
Yeah.
Easy. See, this is great because you keep it really simple, and then also you get to have these awesome conversations around while you're cooking. You don't have to pay attention too much to like doing a bunch of stuff in the kitchen. It's nice. And we'll probably have what, salad?
Yeah, we got a Caesar salad.
Nice.
And sauteed fish, sauteed mutton.
How healthy is that? This is what I do. Come over and just force my dad to cook healthy. Flip time. Hold on, let's see.
Yeah, it's just about.
Yeah, again, do not want to overcook it. That's nice. It's going to be real good. Keeping it easy. All right, we'll show you guys the aftermath when we're sitting
Farm
down
to table.
taste testing this.
Bananas.
I already said that.
Oh.
I already got on the banana game. Yeah,
Salad bowl.
yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, we'll sit down in a second and taste test all this.
Yeah, that's probably best.
Because we don't have to.
Dad likes to get it and scoop.
Scoop a little bit of seasoned.
Oh, that looks good. Nice and little charred.
Yeah, just a little.
Dang, that looks good. All right, is it okay if I use this plate?
Yeah.
Okay. Not waste another one. All right, we're sitting down in the living room. Gonna give it a try. It is so juicy. All that buttery goodness on top of it.
No.
Dude, that's freaking good.
Can't get it.
What do you guys think?
That's
I'm
delicious.
trying.
That's delicious.
Good?
Here. Yeah,
It's absolutely
amazing.
delicious.
That's so simple too.
Oh,
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah, yours is gone. My dad's already killed his. I gotta eat this thing with 2 hands. I'm starving. Guys, I was excited I could take you on this adventure today. Some crazy good diving. I was really happy I was able to get out there with Ryan. Again, check his channel out. He's got some awesome diving, awesome tips and tricks. But if you guys are new to the channel, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you guys next week for another adventure. Later.